It's an expensive process, teaching the next generation to read, write, and develop the skills necessary to handle whatever life, and the next Pokemon game, throws at them. And no matter how hard schools try, it seems there's never enough money to go around. Sometimes, schools have to be willing to do anything to make ends meet. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 dumb things schools did to save money. Number 10. Opening a nightclub in an elementary school. Remember the awkward and uncomfortable experiences offered by school dances? Don't you wish someone had taught you how to pop and lock your way into your childhood crush's heart? Well, if you happened to attend a certain school in Philadelphia about a decade ago, all you had to do was hang around after the bell rang for the education of a lifetime when the facility transformed itself into a full-fledged nightclub. During the day, the Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School in Philadelphia was a pretty good school Monday through Friday. But on Friday and Saturday nights, the school cafeteria was transformed into a risque nightclub called Club Damani. While it was unorthodox, the club raked in loads of money for the school. However, they got into some hot water since it is illegal to sell alcohol near a school, let alone inside it. Not only that, they didn't even have a liquor license. It is now under new management and does not serve booze, but is still making money for the school. Number 9. Serving lunch meat older than the students. School lunches are right up there with the airline and hospital food on the list of meals most likely to lose a taste test with cardboard. Healthy options aren't exactly a priority in school cafeterias, and the only way you're getting something fresh on your plate is if it crawled there right before the gravy got ladled on. That may be because the meat served in these culinary tombs is older than the chewed gum calcifying underneath the benches. In Hawkins County, Tennessee, schools were put in the spotlight after they served students meat that had been in a freezer for 8 years. Children were served pork roast that had passed its best before date more than half a decade prior, and when one of the lunchroom staff warned that the meat had been frozen beyond the point of no return, the cafeteria manager reportedly issued the order to cover it with gravy to give it a better taste. Students are now posting their disgusting lunches on social media regularly while toting the expensive price that came along with it. Before I continue, I just want to remind you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already for more amazing topics just like this. Number 8. Flat out extorting students. When renting out a student doesn't work, the next best thing is to extort the students or their parents. By charging fees to join athletic programs, charging more for school lunches, and even for students to park on school property, the school is making a mint. Some schools have started charging kids to use a locker. In Arizona, a volleyball program charged students $250 in tax credits, and if they didn't pay, the students would be physically punished. A New Jersey school even threatened to call Child Protective Services on several families if the parents didn't pay for a debt of $100,000 in school lunches. Number 7. Renting out students. If a school is trying to save money, then why not put the students to work? We all know that the schools have been forcing children to sell candy and other fundraising things like wrapping papers and cards for many years. But now, they have gone into the employment business. Athletics departments in some schools are now doing things like rent a wrestler or rent a kid to raise money for programs they can't afford any longer. Sometimes, the students are sent out to do gardening, house cleaning, babysitting, and more. But the school is pocketing the money. Why is this legal? Number 6. Making students teach classes. Kids seem to be maturing faster every year, so what's the harm in teachers giving them a little increased responsibility? You know, like smacking the erasers together after class, strapping on a hall monitor vest, or better yet, letting them teach the class while the teacher takes a 6-month sabbatical. Some schools are so understaffed and underfunded that they are allowing students to teach classes. In Detroit, an 8th grade student was asked to step in and teach a math class, and he did so for the entire school year without being paid a dime or being discovered. Another school in Little Rock did the same thing. They allowed tutors to teach their peers for extra credit instead of adding new teaching staff. Number 5. Renting out school property. Schools have resources that are paid for by the taxpayers. They have supplies, copiers, fax machines, computers, and parking spaces. A school in Texas received tens of thousands of dollars after allowing the city government to use their copy machines instead of buying their own. They also made $87,000 renting out parking spaces to nearby office workers. The spots around the football stadium were prime real estate on game nights. Number 4. Advertising to children. A school full of teens is a guaranteed audience for companies wishing to push products that might be of interest to that age group. Schools are now placing ads on the sides of school buses. Some schools are even painting signs with advertising on them and placing them at sporting events and even in the hallways. Lockers are being sold as ad space, and because the schools are hard up for cash, this is an excellent way for them to make some big cash. Number 3. Charging for bus service. It's likely that you took a school bus at some point in your educational process. Taking that big yellow bus is paid for by the government, so children have a way to get to school and learn. However, some schools are now charging students to ride the bus to and from school at a price of $500 a year per child. Some school districts are even considering doing away with the school bus service completely to save the school's money. Bad idea if you live miles from the nearest school, but not so bad if you live close to your school. But yes, before buses became a luxury, children all over the country walked to school every day. Granted, the schools were all in the neighborhoods and not spread out as they are today. Number 2. Neglecting repairs. Schools should be safe places, clean, and free from danger. However, when budget cuts happen, school maintenance is usually one of the first things to go. After teachers in Detroit posted pictures of the conditions they must work in and teach children in, the rest of the country was in shock. From mold growing on the ceiling and walls to no viable drinking fountains, no toilet paper, and not enough working toilets, it was the wake-up call to show the government that the budget cuts were going just a little too far. Number 1. Cheating test scores. Usually, the higher the students perform on a standardized test in each state, the government assumes the school is doing a fantastic job at teaching, and the school gets more money. In reality, it should be reversed, and the lower performing schools should get more money to hire better teachers. To get better test scores, resulting in more funding, schools are resorting to cheating for the students on the tests. Schools in Baltimore and Atlanta were caught changing test scores by physically erasing the students' wrong answers and replacing them with the correct answers. Anyway, what's the worst thing your school did to save money? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.